the same thing. They ain't go in to find evidence. They went in to hide evidence. He's that kind of powerful where I could see it being like that. Because you remember the Epstein thing? We never even heard anything about the list. They had a list of all these horrific things these people was doing, all these sacrificial things and all type of stuff. They had a whole list. And a whole lot of elite people was on that list. He done died, so they say. And we ain't heard nothing else about the list or nobody else who was on the list. Or no follow up. Did they follow any leads, arrest anybody else? No. So I can't say what they doing. It's beyond my tax bracket. If he slithers out of this shit, it'll be further proof that money talks and bullshit walks. Because a whole lot of times people be found innocent and be guilty as hell. And a lot of times people be found guilty and they be innocent. But to me, rich people don't have those problems. That's more of a poor man's problem. To be guilty of something, to be innocent of something and then found guilty, to me, is more a poor man's struggle than a rich man's struggle. That's just my opinion. But we're gonna see how this plays out. Other people came out and said things in support of him. Stevie J was real in his feelings. Mm-hmm. Stevie J was real in his feelings. So I just let me see. Like, that's listen. That be my hold up with the whole Christianity thing. The way you all just playing God faith, it just don't make no sense to me. That be my whole hold up with the faith. The way y'all be sinning, acting a plum dumb ass fool outside Monday through Saturday, then every other Sunday, or whenever y'all in hard times, y'all want to praise the Lord. I can't with the bullshit. And I also want to mention that Carisha, she shouldn't say anything. Carisha shouldn't say anything, but don't shy away from being the bad bitch that you are either. Like, you could pop out. That was your man for that little while, but we saw him be your man, everybody else man too. So you don't have to hide in the shadows. Fuck what these people are talking about. You do not have to be somewhere hiding in the shadows behind what your sugar daddy was doing. Let's call a spade a spade. He leveled you up in life. Now you take that level up and you move on and you proceed. Like, don't turn your back on them. You ain't got to say nothing nasty or nothing crazy about them in the public. But girl, just because that's it, what he going through, that's not your issue. That wasn't your husband. He was your old man on Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays, and Saturdays. Like that, like, girl, you don't have to hide. And don't make these people make you feel like you have to hide. You don't have to hide, and you ain't got to come out and say nothing bad against him. And you don't have to come out, and you really don't have to come out and say anything about that situation. Fuck them. That's how I feel. Fuck them. You don't have to say nothing to these people about that situation. That's your business. That's where you was at the time. But you can move on. But Stevie J, you need to move your ass on too. I got one more post to show y'all about I can't even remember Tyrese. Tyrese goes up on Instagram and he abused sex ever because of Bad Boy on slew of hit records. I don't condone nor do I support abuse, bullying, sexual assault, or anything that is currently being alleged. But what I can do is turn the blinds on how much this means to me and all of us, and what he has done for the community of music and culture. Don't worry, I'm the only one crazy enough to jump out there and say what most of us want to say, but don't have the balls to do so, because it's very normal for people to be going through a rough patch and we all sit back and make a mockery of it. But I'm not going to do that. I'm praying for Diddy, his kids, his family, his mother, and all of the alleged victims that's in the middle of trying to simply have their voices heard. I love this brother. He's been nothing but kind and generous toward me, and that's the way I feel, praying for more of a better outcome of all of this is happening. God bless you, Diddy. If you ever blank, blank, blank. Call me. I'm listening. Yeah. Um, Tyrese, I find it very counteractive to pray for the victim and the abuser at the same time. It's not really, it's not something that makes sense to me. But to each his own. You pray for the alleged victims that are in the middle and they just want to have their voices heard. And you pray for Diddy Rich ass and everything that he has. And you pray for his family and his children and his mother. The children and the mother, I could think. Diddy, I remember a long time ago, this probably was like 2008. Diddy did shot a video, it was a whole bunch of guys sitting around, and he said, "You want to walk with them, nigga, or you want to walk with God?" As if calling himself God. Ever since then, I've totally lost. I don't care. He could change his name 10, 15, 11 times. I don't care. I'm not dealing with him like that. I do hope the best for his victims, the people who were actually victims, and I hope the best for his children too, because they are only a product of their environment. If they've been around sex parties and all this craziness all their life, they are only a product of their environment, and we can't fault them for what they've seen and what they've experienced. We can't blame them for that, for how they've grown up. Now, what I will say about the Diddy thing, it get real fuzzy with victims for me, because do I see someone, the same victim, you go to a party, say you have a woman, she goes to the party, her drink gets spiked and she gets taken advantage of and she goes her separate way. She just was going to go have a good time at the party. I see her much different than a woman who meets a guy and um, wants to better herself in her career. And this guy has the plugs to do so, and so she uses her sexuality towards him to get ahead. Now, what he finds sexy and the things that he participates in may be things that are different than she's used to, but because he's the plug to her career, she overlooks it and she participates anyways. And then later that day or that week or that year, she looks back and she says, "Dad, I can't believe I did all of this for a career and the career still didn't jump off." That's not the same kind of victim to me. Them is two different kind of victims. And I'm not even so sure the last one is a victim, because what it is you're trying to play him and then he's trying to play you, and he just had the one up on you. It's not the same kind of victim. Hold on 1 second. Hey, babe. I'm recording. Okay, I'm gonna call you soon as I'm done, okay? All right, bye. So to me, it's two different kind of, those are two different kind of victims. And the last one I don't necessarily look at as a victim. I don't look at it as a victim. I heard a while back, if your talent can't get you there, you don't need to go. So if you gotta suck a little or have an orgy or participate in lesbian sex and you're not even a lesbian. Like, if you have to do all of these things to get ahead because your talent can't get you there, then you don't need to be there. Because one thing a man gonna do, if it's a hole right there and it's wet and warm, he gonna put his thing right in there. And if you let him do all these things to you, that's what he's going to do. And you ain't had no reason to let him do it to you other than because he was rich and you wanted something from him. You wanted something from him. I don't know. Those are two different kind of victims to me. Those, like, if you ain't finagle, if your seat wasn't under proper management where you could have finagled to where you could have got the betterment of the situation, i.e. Carisha, then I don't know what to tell you. It doesn't necessarily make me look at you as a victim in the same way I would look at the girl who just went to go have a good time and then somebody slipped her a Mickey and now she's messed up. If you walked in with the intention to take advantage of somebody and then Come to find out they turned around and flipped it and they have taken advantage of you. Like, you went in on the scheme. You went in on the scheme. That's why everybody like why Cassie's lawsuit wasn't criminal, because it wasn't much criminal about it. It wasn't, he's a freak. He a freak ass nigga. That's about it. But so is most of Hollywood. It wasn't much to get into. It's women who really getting snatched, who really getting attacked, who really getting taken advantage of. And of course, everybody felt bad for Cassie. Oh, I can't believe he was doing this to you and doing that and da-da-da. Like, she said herself, it was times she tried to get away and this, that, and the third, and maybe he'll blow up a boyfriend's car and he'll do this or he'll do that, and let him blow up that nigga car. It's still gone about your business. Still get away from that. I don't know. But once he got you under the spell of drugs, it's like it's kind of hard. Another thing about the drugs, were you doing drugs anyways? Did he sneak you some drugs, or were you doing drugs anyways and then y'all got high together? Because it's a difference. It's a difference between somebody sneaking you some drugs and getting you high and you knowing that you're getting high and still getting high. It's two different things. So I just want us to be very clear about that. While I do understand people's plight about how it seems like they always take our black heroes down, I was very hurt about Bill Cosby. I still disagree that it shouldn't even have went that way. Was y'all, because in the 60s and 70s, y'all was all getting high. And the white girls, y'all bitches was hippies and some more shit. So y'all was all down for the freak. So did you get down for the freak because you thought that it was going to help your career? And now that it hasn't, now you have a problem? Because that's what it seems like. I don't know. I have that's why I didn't really want to talk about the Diddy thing, because I know my point of view is different. Like, I'm sorry she was young and she was easily manipulated by that man. And I hate that for her. You know what I mean? But of course, it was a civil case, which made the most sense versus her trying to actually get like him locked up in jail. But now it seems like that's what they're fishing for. They're fishing for something to, like, I don't know if they want to lock him up. I don't know what they got going on with Diddy. But they all up in his house. I heard they went to the New York house too. I heard they went to 3 different properties at the same time. All these raids happened. I don't know. But I do encourage Carisha to just stay up out of that. And since I didn't like the Breakfast Club's take, because don't act like y'all don't know what's going on. The nigga's a freak. And they said he was, I don't believe it. Him and Meek Mill. The matching outfits is crazy to me. Matching Versace outfits is crazy to me. Only thing would have been crazier than that if they had matching Versace robes and would have took a picture in that. That's the only thing would have been crazy. I don't know. I don't like it. I do believe it be some freak shit going on. I do believe it be blackmail and extortion and a whole lot of freak shit. I do believe that. Diddy somewhere a billionaire. These young men and women just now coming up, and he offer you to do a little something strange for some change, but it ain't really change. This is like life changing change, you know. And some of them do it. I shout out to the niggas that don't sell your soul like that. Don't ever put yourself in a situation where you can't even look at yourself in the mirror the next day. Don't do that to yourself at no cost. But that's all I have to say about it, because I really don't have much. I don't think he's going to go to jail. I don't see that for Diddy. I don't see that for Diddy just because I feel like he's plugged up in politics. He's plugged up in media. Like, he's not bigger than life. Maybe it's an example. Or maybe he will go to jail because so many people think he's so untouchable. God might have to make an example out of him and show him exactly who's God, and show y'all too. Because people seem to think that he's untouchable. It's not that. It's just, but does he have I don't know. Does he have it to fight the fight? We'll see. I also do